In this video, we will show you how to replace your front brake flex hose. Let's get started. Okay friends, let's get started on our job. The first thing you need to do is safely raise and support the front of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. Once you've done that, continue on to removing all 5 of your 19mm lug nuts and then the wheel. The next thing that you want to do is make sure you have a collection bucket under the area. We're going to be dealing with brake fluid, of course. Let's continue on right at the bleeder screw. Commonly on these, you're going to find a protective boot that you will want to reuse. So remove that and set it aside. Once you do, continue on to your 9mm bleeder screw. We'll get on this and turn it counterclockwise and wait for a little bit of fluid to come out. Now that I have some fluid coming out of there, we'll continue on with some hose pinchers. This right onto the flex hose to restrict the fluid flow, leaving these on here temporarily. The next step is very important. We're going to make our way up into the passenger compartment. You want to use a pry bar of some sort and try to press down on that brake pedal. You want to do it slowly because of course fluid will be coming out of this bleeder screw. Once it's all the way down, hold it in place with the pry bar and then continue out here. We'll remove these. With the pedal held all the way to the floor, you'll notice that fluid stops coming out of this area. Right up here is where you're going to find that the flex hose goes through a hole in the body of the vehicle and comes out the other side, and that's where the brake line is. Continue with your 11mm wrench to loosen this. We'll fully unscrew this from the flex hose. Once you have the line separated from the flex hose, you'll notice right along this area, along the top of the body mount, you're going to find that you have a clip. You can grab that with some pliers or some cutters. Hold that flex hose. Remove that clip, give it a quick inspection, and set that aside. Now at this point, you'd want to continue on down to where the flex hose connects onto the caliper. On our application, the end broke here. With that said, I'll continue by removing the fitting from the caliper. Let's use our 10mm for this. With the flex hose out of there, let's continue on by cleaning and inspecting the fitting along the brake line. That one looks good. I'll do the same along the top of the caliper here. Just give that a quick wipe. Okay friends, let's get ready for our installation. Looking underneath this bracket, you're going to find that it's not a perfect circle. It has 2 notches cut out of it. One's a little wider than the other. If you were to look at the flex hose, you're going to be able to find that you have 2 notches that protrude out of it. Once again, one larger than the other. Match them up, slide it into position. Once you have it up there in place, continue on with your locking clip. Just drive that into position. Once you have that started in, continue on the other side as well. Looking at this side of the flex hose, you can tell that it has this bracket that protrudes out a little bit. That's going to be facing inboard. Let's get that lined up with the caliper. Start it in by hand. After you have both of them started, continue on with your 11mm wrench and make sure they're nice and tight. Bottomed out. Nice and snug. Double check to make sure that the flex hose isn't twisted or crimped in any way. The next thing you want to do is remove the brake pedal depressor and then come back down here and wait for fluid to come out of the bleeder screw. Once you have a steady trickle of fluid, continue on by snugging this up, and then we'll do a manual brake bleed. For the manual bleed, it's going to be easiest having a second person. That second person is going to be up inside the passenger compartment of the vehicle. We're going to have them pump up the brake approximately 3 to 5 times and hold on the last time and let us know that they're holding it. Once they do that, we'll open the bleeder screw. Keep in mind, when you do this, fluid will try coming out under pressure, so make sure you're not standing in the way. Once it stops coming out, close the bleeder screw and continue the process until you're sure that you see no air coming out of the bleeder screw. Pump up the brake, please.
Holding.
Go ahead and pump.
Holding.
All right, as you can see, 2 times in a row, there was no air coming out of this bleeder screw. That tells me that we shouldn't have any air in our braking system, and we can continue. Now that we're sure there's no air in our braking system, clean up your mess and reinstall your boot. Reinstall your wheel. Put on all 5 of your 19mm lug nuts, we'll bottom them out, get the wheel safely back on the ground, and then torque each of these to 100 foot-pounds. With the wheel on the ground, torque these in a crisscross manner. Torqued. Once you have the wheel torqued, make your way up into the engine compartment. Along where the firewall is where you're going to find your master cylinder, and that's where all your brake fluid's housed. Looking along the front of it, you're going to be able to find a maximum line coming right across. Make sure you're up to par. If it looks like it's a little low, turn this counterclockwise, lift it up, and top it off with .4 brake fluid. Once you do, make sure you close this up nice and tight so no moisture or debris can make its way into your reservoir. Once you've done that, go ahead and close the hood and take it for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.